What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I am your host, Olin, aka MMAnomaly, and as usual, the co-host here to my right, technically my left that I'm pointing to, but there he is, Jive Turkey Nano. What's up, Nano? How we doing, brother?
Let's go. I'm around here somewhere. Great to see you, brother. How you been?
Oh man, another beautiful day in paradise. You know me, happy to be here, happy to be chatting about MMA, and happy to be chatting with the brother.
Let's go.
So,
another fight night.
This episode, man, yeah, just like you said, we got another UFC fight night. We got the UFC fight night in the house. We're going to be talking about UFC Jacksonville. Honestly, I think it's going to be a really, really fun one. I think it's going to be a really, really solid card. I do think that we're going to have a lot of finishes, even though it's not maybe the most household name worthy card in the whole wide world. I do think that we are going to have ourselves a good old fashioned high percentage finish rate card. Just jumping through the names. We got people like Josh Emmett on the card, known for knocking people down, not knocking people out, but knocking people down. We got Ilia Topuria, known for doing the opposite, known for finishing people. Amanda Hebus versus Macy Barber, Justin Taffa versus Austin Lane. David Onama, which if you were in UFC San Diego, which is where I got this shirt, I'm sure you heard the 5 drunken white guys yelling David Onama. And if you didn't, it's a great inside joke for me and Drew. And you know, he's going against Gabriel Santos. We got Bruno Silva against Brendan Allen. Honestly, the list of names goes on. And we had other fights on here that were going to be equally as exciting, like RoboCop, Gregory Rodriguez coming in against Dennis Tayulian. And Punahele Soriano was supposed to originally fight Cedric Dumas. That fight got canceled, but no worries, guys. We still have Cedric Dumas on the card, and he is going to be fighting against a different opponent, Cody Brundage. They're actually going to start off the card. What do you think of the card here, Emiliano? Give us your thoughts.
Let's go. I'm excited, man. You laid it out. A lot of fun ones. I think one fight you may not have mentioned, or I think I want to re-mention if you didn't. But it is going to be Neil Magny versus Philip Rowe. Another fun one there. He's going to lead off the prelims, I guess, or be the main event for the prelim card. So definitely worth checking that one out. And like you said, man, this main event may not be a lot of quote unquote household names. It's not a pay-per-view, but it's a fight night in Florida, baby. And Florida brings the heat, brings a little bit of that hurricane, a little craziness. You never know what you're getting in Florida. That's one thing I will say. So Jacksonville is going to be fun. You know, it's going to be loud from the get. I think all the fighters are going to feed off that energy. It's going to be a fun card, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a fantastic card. Honestly, we don't have to run through every single fight on the card, but we'll go ahead and start at the bottom of the card because we have Cedric Dumas. He's a young man who's long and strong, and he didn't have a great showing in his first UFC fight. I was pretty hype on him. I'll be honest. You got to ignore, the stuff that's happened outside the octagon to an extent. Not sure how much of it's true, how much of it isn't, but either way, the man is a gifted fighter. And he's a terrifying individual. He did go out there and lose to Josh Fremd. Like I said, he got submitted in the second round about 3 minutes in by a guillotine choke. But before then, he had 7 fights and 7 finishes. 7 fights and 7 finishes. Again, like every single one of his fights, well, almost every single one, he had 1 decision. But he had 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. I'm really excited about this fight. He is coming in against a very, very game young man in Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage coming off of 2 losses, one to Rodolfo Vieira, the other one to Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Losing to Mikhail Oleksiejczuk or Rodolfo Vieira, that's not a terrible knock on your record. I mean, both of those guys are absolute studs. Before that, he beat Dalka Longambula. He got a guillotine on him in the very first round. And then right after that, he got a knockout win over Tresean Gore. So again, Tresean Gore is no slouch either. You might recognize the name from The Ultimate Fighter. And he got put to sleep by this young man. So, I mean, how do you see this fight playing out?
This guy's legit. I don't know if I'm just a hometowner. He is fighting in his backyard here in Florida. We've talked about him before. We were a little upset when he lost. Hopefully we could get him on after this win. Cedric, if you're hearing this, come on, brother. Let's go. But I'm rooting for him, right? I think he has all the tools in his toolbox. I do think that this, even though, hey, a little bit of a change of opponent last minute, you got to roll with the punches here. That's the name of the game. Welcome to the big show, baby. Whoever's there, whoever they put in front of you, you got to be ready for it. I think he will be. He's leading off the fight card this Saturday. I think he's going to come, like you said, coming off a loss. Didn't look out of his world there. I mean, he made some mistakes. Again, this is a small margin of error in this game, in the UFC, right? We're talking about the best of the best. Small margin of victory, small margin of error to lose as well. So I do think let's clear my throat here. I do think he's going to get the job done. I'm hoping to see some fireworks. I'm hoping to get some buzz. I think he's get in there. Hopefully look for a finish. We don't know what kind of condition his opponent's going to be coming in. How ready is he actually going to be off, not a full camp, off a few days notice, whatever it is, right? Dumas, my boy, you got this, brother. Let's get it done.
You love to see it. You love to see the hometown guy get it done in Jacksonville. I'm looking forward to that one, to be completely honest. And in the next fight after that, I mean, again, I'm really high on this guy, Tatsuro Taira. You've probably heard me say his name. If you haven't, you're about to hear me go on a spill. The young man is 13-0. The young man is from Okinawa, Japan, and he is an absolute phenom. In a decade or a time where there's not enough Japanese UFC specific stars. Like, there are stars in the world of mixed martial arts that are Japanese, but we just don't have as many or as much representation from Japan in the UFC on this level. And I think Tatsuro Taira is the future. The guy is 13-0. He's got 3 KO/TKOs. He's got 7 submissions, 3 decisions. Very, very well-rounded individual. Of those fights, 3 of them are in the UFC. His last 3 opponents were Carlos Candelario, CJ Vergara, and Jesus Santos Aguilar. And again, he got a decision and 2 submissions, 1 armbar, 1 triangle armbar. The guy is just an absolute stud. He can get it done at any point in time in the round. He can get it done anywhere the fight goes. And again, he seems very, very well-rounded. However, across from him stands KR, Clayton Rodriguez, a young man from Brazil. He is an absolute beast. He is, he is coming off of not a loss, but he's 1-1 in his last 2. One of those losses, interesting enough, is to CJ Vergara, who 2 fights ago, Tatsuro Taira beat. He did lose a split decision to him. It was a very close fight. And then after that, since then, he jumped on that Makhachev versus Volkanovski card and got a TKO win within the first 59 seconds over Shannon Ross. Absolute power in those hands. And honestly, just everywhere he decides to throw from, whether it's his hands, his feet, his elbows, the man's got power. He can put you away. He can knock you out. But I don't know if he's going to be the one to hand Tatsuro Taira his first loss. What are your thoughts on this one, Nano?
Love the analysis on that, my brother. I think I'd agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think I'm ultimately going to lean in here on the young talent, the young prodigy. I'm starting to think as we start to talk about these fights, you will see that's a common theme here, y'all. You are going to see a lot of young, a lot of fighters that are young in age, right? They may not have a lot of fights under their belt, or maybe just may not have a lot of years of, walking this earth. But I'll tell you what, they have all the talent in the world. Sky's the limit for these fighters. And Tatsuro is a great place to start. How old is he? 25 years old or 23 years old, excuse me. A new regime, a new class here. And I think this fight card, maybe that's what they were thinking when they were putting this together. Let's have a showcase of a lot of young guys, our homegrown talent, people that are young and up and coming that need to be seen, right? Because again, we know all the household names. We have the landscape pretty much set in stone for the year. But hey, this is a card that we may not have realized is actually going to be a great viewing coming out party, you can say, especially for International Fight Week coming up right around yonder. I think it's, again, great kickoff. Just wanted to make that point real quick. But again, Tatsuro is a great example of that. He's a doubt. He's going to get the job done. I think he's extremely fast. He's good everywhere. We might see back-to-back finishes here. We may not need the judges until a few fights in. They may be okay having a couple drinks, maybe making their way on in leisurely. They're not going to be needed here for the first couple fights, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a night where the judges will be able to take 5 or 25 for that matter. They'll be able to take quite some time off on Saturday night. We are going to skip through a couple of these fights. Like I said, we're not going to go through every single fight here. We're not going to drag you through the mud. But, you know, I'll mention a little bit, a little tidbit on each thing here. Jamal Emmers versus Jack Jenkins. Again, not going to drag you through the mud here. Not going to go on a long-winded spiel. But I will say Jack Jenkins, unless I'm mistaken, is the guy who's ended like multiple fights via leg kicks. So terrifying young man. I think this one's going to be a finish. Again, going to be a very high finish percentage. Jumping into the next fight, Trevor Peek versus Chepe Mariscal. It's going to be a finish. I don't know which side, but I can tell you it's probably going to be a finish. This next one that we're actually going to both talk about here, Zhalgas Zhumagulov. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Double Z. You know, the guy's an absolute phenom. Maybe not necessarily inside of the UFC, but he's an absolute phenom with that haircut, because that haircut is 2-0, ladies and gentlemen, since getting the long lost Beatles, aka dark haired Patty Pimblett, He-Man haircut. He's had 2 opponents pull out of fights. So Double Z, call him Double Z because he puts his opponents to sleep. Zhalgas Zhumagulov, you know, take it to the house. I'm betting the whole house on that guy. What do you think, Nano?
I'm laughing over here. I think it's a great analysis, man. I mean, the haircut's undefeated, right? Like you said. I mean, as you can see, it's obviously undefeated. He's an old timer, right? I mean, he has some losses. We gotta, you know, acknowledge that, but they're not to any schlumps. You know, we're looking at Manel Kopp as one of his losses. Charles Johnson is another one here, most recent. But he's a talented fighter, man. He brings his A game every time he's out there. He's going to stretch you out. He's going to try to bring you into deep waters. And to be totally honest, I don't know too much about his opponent. I haven't seen a lot of him. You know, and Joshua Van, I'm curious to see what he does out here at 21 years young. Again, maybe I'm just going to start leaning towards the young fighter in these, although I do love me some Double Z. The haircut's intimidating as all hell. You can't argue with that. But again, there's a lot of young guys on this card. Who knows? I mean, you know, maybe it's a coming out party for this kid, Joshua Van. We'll have to wait and see.
I hope not. I want to see Zhalgas Zhumagulov do well. I mean, we've now seen the haircut a couple times, and you know, I just want to see him get to make the walk with it.
You gotta assume
come out to the Beatles.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Oh, that'd be fantastic. Just doing a little head bop, nice and just rocking as he comes on in.
Hold your hand.
I mean, yeah, that's a crowd pleaser. That would be fun. That'd be a fun one. Florida crowd get behind that. Yeah, man. I mean, it's more than likely, right? I mean, again, in this scenario, we're not talking about a prodigy, not a well-known name. This guy, Joshua Van, he's got to earn some stripes, right? He's got to go in there and beat someone that's established. We're going to assume the seasoned vet, just like we're seeing on this season of The Ultimate Fighter. We might as well trust these old guns, man. They have a few extra tricks in the bag that they don't know about yet. These young guys, they put them on
young
game.
Guns.
These young guns, man, they don't know. They don't know. They'll learn, though. They're going to learn today.
They're going to learn today. So moving into the next fight, we have a couple women that get it done here. We have again, just like Nano said earlier, he actually put it very, very well. I think we're going to see a bit of a theme here moving forward in the UFC specifically of this kind of older fighter that we've seen for some time fighting the newer fighter that a lot of people are getting hype on. And that is definitely 1000% the case when it comes to Jillian Robertson going in against Tabitha Baby Shark Ricci. I can tell you this. My nephew has only watched maybe a couple fights because he's like 2.5 years old and he's watched them sitting next to me. But I guarantee you, if he knew that Tabitha Ricci's nickname was Baby Shark, that'd be his favorite fighter. I promise you. She's very easily marketable. She's a very cute fighter. And more so than the fact that she's cute and has a cutesy nickname, the chick is really good, man. She has so many skills. She's very well-rounded. If the fight goes to the ground, like she's actually she's got very, very solid Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And it's not the case of only having offensive jiu-jitsu. Like she actually has solid defensive wrestling and jiu-jitsu skills. But where I truly feel that she excels is, and maybe this isn't the right answer, but when things get dirty and into a dogfight, Tabitha Ricci gets to shine, in my opinion, man. She's a brawler. She enjoys the fight. It shows very, very much. Her only loss in mixed martial arts is to a little lady that you might have heard of named Manon Fior. She's, probably the next person that's going to be a big threat for the belt in that division. So a loss to that person, really not that terrible, man. Before I go on and take all the thunder on this one, curious to hear kind of your thoughts on Tabitha Ricci and how she stacks up against Jillian Robertson, the far more kind of seasoned veteran.
Yeah, brother, you're right. Baby Shark. Dun, 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 dun. I think we're all rooting for her a little bit for the name alone. She has the look. She has the market appeal. But no, I do think she has the chops here to go in against a Gillian Robertson, who, in my opinion, has seen some good talent here in the UFC, but she's fell short sometimes. She's lost to Tyler Santos. She's lost to Miranda Maverick. She's lost to JJ Aldrich. Yes, she is coming off of 2 victories, but I don't know if that's enough for me to take her over a Tabitha Ricci who, I mean, if T-Piz the Riz was here, he would be telling us, hey, how can you bet against my girl? How dare you? I'm going to take that personal. We got to take this outside. But in all seriousness, no, this is a fighter who's trending upward, right? Her stocks are going up and to the right. She's coming off wins over Polyana Viana. Also Jessica Penne Pasta. So, again, those are really good names on her resume. She, like you said, she's going to, I think, get better as the fight goes on, as she starts to get a little bit more beat up, maybe a little bit more into the flow, right? Once maybe the dust kicks off a little bit, right? It's different from when you start, you have your game plan versus, hey, we're just relying on muscle memory. And I think when it gets into that realm, I think Tabitha Ricci, she finds a way to get it done, man. She's a savage, which is funny. I say that because that's Gillian Robertson's nickname, but she's going to make the savage look unsavage. You know what I mean? She's take the name from her. She's a shark. What are we talking about here? It's an alpha predator. I'm excited for her to showcase her skills this weekend.
I completely agree with everything you said. I mean, I really think that Tabitha Ricci, again, extremely marketable. She's the younger fighter. She's the less experienced fighter. That's not to say that she's not as good or not as ready. She's definitely as good and she's definitely ready. I think this is actually going to prove to be a very, very solid fight for her. And it's crazy that I keep referring to Tabitha Ricci as the younger fighter because both of these women are actually 28 years of age. They're the same exact age. The difference is one of them has 9 fights and the other one has 19 fights. That makes a very big difference in how you view somebody. Sorry, I think Luna has something to say.
It might have been. She's like, I agree. I concur. Man, at least she wanted to get it corrected there. Yeah, I guess they are closer to age than we thought. But no, yeah, it's
Sorry,
an interesting.
Real quick, I have to acknowledge Drew in the chat here. First, I have to acknowledge Hato. Hato said, I definitely like Ricci in this fight. We've seen pressure get to Robertson with opponents moving forward. Completely agree with the Black Hato. Make sure you follow him over on Twitch. And that's a really solid take. I completely agree. Now, jumping into the real serious thing that was said in the chat here, we got Drew. What up, Drew, in the YouTube chat?
Drew.
He said Polyana Viana, heart emoji eyes.
Sheesh.
Man, you ain't lying. My guy. Dude, if you're a Naruto fan, Polyana Viana is definitely somebody you should follow. I mean,
worth the Google.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Hive mind. We have a hive mind named Drew. So
miss you, brother.
Yeah.
Great takes. I mean, and unfortunately she got beat up by a girl, Ricci over here, man. I mean, it's just,
I'm saying Ricci's a
it is
beast,
what it
bro.
is. She's a beast.
It's a shark.
It is what it
I don't even think
is.
she's a baby shark. I think people need to check the documentation.
She's full grown.
She's a full-grown shark.
Oh yeah, she's like a megalodon. She's out here.
She's a megalodon. The Meg.
The Meg. Yeah,
so,
man. I'm rooting for her.
Again, we're going to skip over this next fight. We got Mateus Rebecki going in against Loic Razhabov. Sorry if I butchered that name. Moving into the next fight, we got Randy Brown coming in against Mr. Wellington Turman. Randy Rude Boy Brown. I'm very big on this guy. I feel like I keep taking the thunder and going first. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
I appreciate it, brother. No, I mean, hey, we got Randy Brown here, like you mentioned. He's a dog. He's been around for a while, a little bit of the elder here, 32 years old, 6'2". He's going to have the height advantage, 6-inch reach advantage as well. And he fights that way also. You'll notice him long, keep guys at distance, kind of irritate them, pepper them, and then finally take him out of there. Going to be expecting a lot of offense from him. And then we got a tough, gritty matchup here. Our boy Wellington Turman, who sounds like he might be a fighter from the 1800s with that name, but 26 years young, I should say. He's a dog as well, man. I'm curious to hear your take a little bit more on who you think, analysis wise, who are you leaning? Because I'm up in the air on this one.
I'm happy you tagged me in here. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I really like Randy Rude Boy Brown in this one. Let's look at what these two guys have done. Okay, first, let's go ahead and look at Randy Rude Boy Brown. Last two wins are over Kalen Williams, a.k.a. Chaos Williams, and Francisco Trinaldo, one of the old dogs of the sport, who is notoriously hard to put away. He didn't put him away, but he did get the unanimous decision. Not a split decision, a unanimous decision over him. He is coming off of a loss, however, to one young man named Jack Della Maddalena. If you know anything about me in the last couple of years, you know I'm very high on this JDM guy. Jack Della Maddalena is another guy who I think very highly of and I think is a future champion. Now, let's jump over to his opponent, Wellington Turman, who, as you said, very, very appropriately, he does sound like a fighter from the 1800s, and he sounds like maybe he should be from Britain. Probably not from Brazil, but Wellington Turman, I digress. He is from Curitiba, Brazil. He is a young man, and, he's a fighter for the UFC. His most notable wins are over Marcus Perez, who you might know as the guy who used to paint his face as the Joker and now fights professional pillow fighting. After that, he got a win over Sam Alvey, who you might know as the guy who lost 9 times in a row and still kept fighting for the UFC, and Misha Serkinov, who is currently on, I believe, a 5-fight losing streak. After that, he lost to Andre Petrozzi, and before that, he lost to Bruno Silva, who, honorable mention, is also on this card, who we're going to talk about here in a minute. So, with all of that being said, I know that was a bit of a mouthful to get me from point A to point B. Both guys are dogs, but you know what? I could say the same thing about a Chihuahua and a Pit Bull. The difference is if you make those two dogs fight, one of them's probably going to have a lot better odds at winning that fight. I'm going with the Pit Bull in this one, a.k.a. Randy Rude Boy Brown. I think Randy Rude Boy Brown brings a lot of problems to this fight. I think he was actually winning that fight up against Jack Della Maddalena up until he wasn't. He made a half second of a mistake against JDM, and unfortunately, that's all it takes. I think he can afford to make those types of mistakes against Wellington Turman. Not that Wellington's a bad fighter, but he's not a JDM level fighter. And I think Randy has faced those types of fighters more often than not. And he's able to go through the fire without taking too much of a burn. So let's see it on Saturday. I think Rude Boy is almost a lock.
Let's go. I like it. The Rude Boy's gonna put on a show for us. Let's get it.
Let's go to the chat real quick. So Blackado says, both are dogs, but both have holes in the striking defense. But I think Brown has the power advantage, so I'm expecting a TKO victory. 100% on with that. I see the same thing. I honestly think it's going to end up being no more than a 2-round fight. I think if there's good odds on the under 1.5, probably solid to take that. If there's solid odds on the under 2.5, it's like taking candy from a baby, man. That's just a solid bet. Eric says, Smilin' Sam was on Steve Austin Broken Skull Ranch. No, was he really? So for those that don't know, and I only know this because Eric used to watch Broken Skull Ranch a lot, I think, before I got him into The Challenge, the MTV reality show. And it's basically Stone Cold Steve Austin's version of The Challenge, but like The Challenge is, come on, The Challenge. So apparently Smilin' Sam Alvey was on the Wish.com version of The Challenge, run by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold, man. Staying busy. I love it. What's up, Eric? Great to see you, brother.
So, man, this next fight, I'll be completely honest, I feel like it's kind of gone under the radar. I don't understand how it's on the prelims. We got Neil Magny on the prelims going against Philip Rowe. What wasn't Neil Magny just now the co-main event or co-main event against Gilbert Burns on that Teixeira Hill card? What's happening?
Was he co-main? He was definitely on the main.
He was up there, I think. Either way, this is just wild to me. Philip Rowe going in against Neil Magny. What are your thoughts on this one, Dono?
This is a fun one, man. This is a fun one. I like Neil Magny a lot. I think that's a great fight to lead off with, his fight against Gilbert Burns. He didn't get a chance to showcase a lot there, I'll admit. Gilbert did kind of walk right through him. But Neil Magny is in that realm, closer to it, I guess, than he is of his opponent. And that's no disrespect there to my boy, Mr. Rowe over here. But I just think that Neil Magny, he's a gamer. He's been around the block. Only a couple years older than his opponent here. But I think you're going to find that he's going to, wear him out. He's going to frustrate him. And I think he's going to find a way to get it done. Maybe by decision. Maybe he'll find a way to come out and bounce back from that performance, because it really just wasn't good. I mean, Gilbert Burns is a man on a mission. I think Gilbert has all the tools to be a champion. He's at that level. And Neil is a gamer. He's someone that is a great, talented fighter. Not elite, but he's, I think, more in that class, right? I'm leaning Neil Magny. I just think he has too many tools here. I think he'll have too much for our boy, Mr. Rowe. What do you think, brother?
Oh, man. As a big fan of the Haitian sensation, Neil Magny, I hate that these words are about to escape my mouth, but I'm going with the Fresh Prince.
Whoa!
I don't think it's a super duper safe bet to bet on Neil Magny in this one, and that's coming from somebody who bet on Neil Magny in that last fight against Gilbert Burns. Maybe it's just me being burned, so I'm betting against him. But I think the Fresh Prince here, Philip Rowe, he has a lot of skills that he presents and brings to the table. Again, he's got 10 wins, 6 of those by way of knockout or TKO, 4 of them by way of submission. His last 3 fights, he had wins. Orion Koch, not super crazy. Jason Witt, pretty solid name to beat, and he beat him in 2 rounds. Nico Price, an even better name, and he beat him in 3 rounds. He got a TKO over him. I mean, if you ask me who I thought would win between Neil Magny and Nico Price, I'd say Nico Price. MMA math doesn't work, but for that same reason, I'm going Philip Rowe. I think he has more tools. I think he gets it done. So we are opposing on that one, and
we'll be taking a shot.
I was going to say I'll be calling you for a shot. I'll see you Saturday.
Let's go. I love it.
So with that being said, we are jumping into the main card. We are rolling right on through, guys. As I said, there were 2 canceled fights, but that's okay. One of them got kind of shifted around. Cedric Dumas, he's got a different opponent. We already went over that.
All good.
This next one I'm super excited about. Again, I'm going to let you take the lead on it because I feel like I'm going to have diarrhea at the mouth a little bit here when I do. We got Brendan Allen coming in against Bruno Silva. I'm curious as hell to hear how you see this one playing out, my guy.
This is a fun one. We kind of leaned into Bruno Silva a little bit earlier. He's beat someone else that's on this card already. He is a gamer. He's fought against an Alex Pereira. He's fought against some of the who's who's. He is a talented fighter. I do agree with that. But we got our boy Brendan Allen. Brendan. Sorry, I got to make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly here. Brendan Allen, 27 years young. He's the younger fighter here. He's who I would say is maybe the young bull trying to take over the old, the young calf trying to take over the old bull. I got to make sure I'm saying my enunciations correctly here. But I do think Brendan has a clear path to victory here. I do think Bruno Silva is a savage. He's a tough fighter. He gets through most people that you put in front of him. But Brendan Allen's going to find a way to victory here, and I do think it's through his wrestling, that chain wrestling, putting combinations together. I do think that's going to be at the advantage here. Might be a boring one for maybe some of the casuals, but we're going to see some really exciting wrestling. We're going to see a good fight. We're probably going to see maybe Mr. Allen here, I think, get it done via wrestling. What do you think, brother?
I think at the risk of possibly losing a couple of viewers here, fuck the casuals, and to hell with the casuals.
Fuck 'em.
Dude, if they think it's boring to see people grapple, they should probably watch Muay Thai. There's a lot of Muay Thai on YouTube, and it's just striking. So check that stuff out. It's really great. I'm not against Muay Thai. I love Muay Thai. It's my favorite discipline to actually train in physically. I'm not much of a grappler. That being said, can't help but double tap on exactly what you said. +1, as the kids say. The chain grappling, the chain wrestling, the ability to constantly shuffle forward, and also the ability to, when hurt, when in bad positions, scramble out. That is a very, very hard thing to train. And it's something that I truly feel that Brendan Allen has mastered. His ability to get in, get out, do damage, and get out without taking a ton of damage. As long as you're not Sean Strickland or one of Sean Strickland's training partners, he seems to be good to go. I mean, at least for the last 5 years. So, I mean, again, I say that because he's only lost to Sean Strickland and Sean Strickland's training partner, Chris Curtis.
Yep. 4 wins since then. So he's figured something out.
He had 4 wins since then and 8 or 9 in between. So dude, I mean, the guy's racked up just a shit ton of wins. He's gotten consecutively and consistently better. I know T-Piz was actually coming at me crazy ad nauseum at how bad he thought he was going to do in that fight against Andre Muniz, just because T-Piz is very high on Andre Muniz, which I get. Muniz is a beast. But I tried to tell him, I literally told him, I think that not only is Allen going to beat him, I think he possibly submits him. And what happened? He submitted him, I think, in the 3rd round. So, yeah, 4 minutes, 25 seconds into the 3rd round with an RNC. Classic rear naked choke. I think similar happens. I think Bruno possibly I think he'll probably have more power initially, but Brendan Allen is he's like Gumby. I don't know if you ever watched that show. Like the claymation character, he just wraps around you and saps that energy out of you. He's like Gumby, dog.
Oh man, we're gonna need a short on that. That is fantastic reference. And yeah, honestly, it's uncanny.
He's literally like Gumby. Gosh. He wraps himself around you. He saps the energy out of you. He makes you carry.
Looks nice, weight. He's got that smile, and they'll just come get you. Come here.
Same kind of shaped head.
Yeah,
Brendan Gumby Allen. I think he should change his nickname.
Very similar, body compositions for sure. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious.
So we're both
Great
all
show.
in on Brendan All In Allen, pun intended there.
Absolutely.
Moving into the next one, we got David Onama coming in against Gabriel Santos. We don't have to talk a ton about this one. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be one-way traffic. I think it'll be fairly competitive, but I do think that David Onama should end up coming out here and getting this one done, as long as he doesn't kind of get sloppy and get TKO'd. That being said, Nate Landwehr wasn't able to knock him out, and he dropped him 2 or 3 times in their fight when I saw him in San Diego. I don't know that Gabriel Santos is going to be able to do any different. David Onama. Dude, I was literally talking about that earlier. 5 of the drunkest white men I've ever seen in my entire life were at the weigh-ins, chanting David Onama. And then me and Drew, the next day after weigh-ins, obviously we go to the fight. We're sitting cage side, and probably 5, 6 rows over, those guys, there they are. And dude, they were so drunk during the actual fight. They were chanting. They very obviously had a lot of money on David Onama.
I guess so.
They were chanting so loud and so drunkenly. And when David Onama dropped him, and the fight arguably could have been stopped, and then it didn't get stopped, and then Nate Landwehr got up.
They were not too happy about it.
They were not so happy about it.
Oh no!
They got very, very quiet, and I'm pretty sure I saw one of them in a Hawaiian shirt crying. When Nate dropped him, it was turning and looking at the crowd like, "Are you not entertained?" Everybody in the crowd was clapping except for those 5 guys.
Oh no!
Look,
that's why gamble at your own risk, ladies and gentlemen. Because
looking at the screen, this is exactly what happened. The claps disappeared. Bad joke.
Just faded away. Oh man, that's hilarious. I love it. Well, it happens. That's the name of the game, man. That's the name of the game.
I so hope that me and Drew have another story like that in 15 days when we are at the weigh-ins for UFC 290.
Oh, you will. Just make sure to remember them all. There'll be a lot to go from.
Oh yeah, I'll try and get some on video this time.
There we go.
So that's the David Onama fight. I think David Onama probably gets it done. Hopefully he has his 5-guy posse there, And moving into the next fight, we actually had a little bit of a spoiler alert in the chat earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll up so I can display that. We had the Blackato here, just speaking facts. Justin Tafa by KO. The Blackato, he's a man of a few words, but when he speaks, you got to listen. A lot of times they're right. And here he is with a banger. We got Austin Lane coming again against Justin Badman Tafa. Badman is such a great nickname. Like every time I hear Badman, I just think of Vegeta because the pink shirt that literally just said Badman across the back of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Fucking classic.
That's classic. But he looks like a bad man. When you look at him, you think, yeah, he looks like a bad dude. Don't want to mess with him.
And
yeah,
Austin
sounds about
Lane,
right.
like the most memorable moment I have from Austin Lane, and this is a dick thing to say. I don't mean anything by it because he's actually strung together quite a bit of really solid wins since then. But the most memorable moment that I have of this young man in my engraved in my memory is him getting one shot obliterated by Greg Hardy in Dana White's Contender Series.
Interesting, because he's an ex NFL player as well. He played for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I thought might have been why they gave him the nod there for the local hometown. That is the draw, huh? I mean, hey, hopefully he gives the NFL guys a better name than Greg Hardy does. Hopefully. I mean, he's already honestly halfway there. He's already doing better as long as he doesn't do anything that we know of, out of the ring.
So he had his fight on the Dana White Contender Series. He lost to Greg Hardy back in 2018. After that, he got TKO'd again in the first round in his very next fight. Since then, he's only had one loss, which was another TKO in the first round. That was 3 fights later. But other than that, I mean,
he's been very active. I'll give him that.
Yeah. He's had 8 fights where he's gotten wins. A lot of those from KOs himself. One rear naked choke mixed in there in the first round as well. They're not against household names. His last fight was another Contender Series fight to get back into the UFC. I kind of feel bad for him. I feel like Austin Lane's kind of getting dealt a dirty hand. Your first fight in is against Greg Hardy, NFL guy versus NFL guy. Greg Hardy was probably popping on roids then. Let's be candid.
And he's a big boy too. I mean, at that
size
time,
difference was evident. And now he's coming back to the UFC in his first fight against Justin Badman Tafa.
A literal bad man. Yeah, it's probably not going to do good. I hope, him having that home field advantage, I hope that he can showcase enough to maybe stick around in the UFC. Yeah, I'm always rooting for my NFL, my football guys. I know he's going to be athletic. I know he's going to have the stamina. I know he's going to have the heart. Does he have the skills? And at this level, is he going to be able to take a punch from a very bad man? I mean, this guy, Greg Hardy's a heavy hitter, but this boy Justin Tafa, man, he don't mess around. All right, and I do know one thing: if he ends up beating him somehow miraculously, he's going to have to get out of that ring, and he's going to have to get through his Justin Tafa's even bigger brothers and coaches who are even. They make him look like the little brother. So, I mean, these are big men we're talking about here. It's like Viking-esque, man. These brothers, they don't play. So, no. All jokes aside, I just think Justin Tafa has too much for him. I really do. What do you think?
I completely agree. Just like you said, is he going to be able to take the punches of a very bad man in Justin Tafa? And one thing that you didn't mention is he going to be able to take the kicks of Justin Tafa? Because I know that when you look at a man as thick and as wide and as bad as Justin Tafa, you don't necessarily think about kicks. But again, the first thing that I have in my mind from this guy is him landing just solid leg kicks. I can't remember exactly which fight it was, but he lands them really heavy. Very Mark Hunt-esque. Like, you don't expect it. He's not going to throw any head kicks or spinning back wheel kicks anytime soon. But, it's really, really, really nice to see people mix in leg kicks, especially at the heavier weight classes. And they pay off because you got to think 265 pounds of man being planted on those legs isn't going to get any easier when you're compromising those trees. What up, super silly shy guy? My guy Spider Shan. I appreciate you listening while you're walking. We love having you in the chat.
What's up, Shan? Great to see you. Yeah, Justin Tafa, man, he's a bad guy. Those leg kicks at that height, weight, that size. I mean, not only is it impressive, not a lot of people are doing it, right? So you're just already not used to seeing it. But then also, man, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on those joints, those ligaments, those muscles, man. I mean, they're going to tire you out. It shows dividends to his opponents the way he gets after it. I mean, he did beat our boy Pacaporta. I wanted to mention that real quick. Shout out Pacaporta.
Hive mind. I literally was trying to wait not to cut you off. I was going to say, dude, he is one of 3 people in the UFC to beat the legendary Parker Porter.
To put him away, too.
Can get it done.
To put him out of there. Yeah. He went that night. So, Parker Porter.
We may never see that happen to Parker Porter again.
I hope we don't see it to Parker Porter again. That's my boy.
Parker Porter.
Into
the Porterverse.
He sent him into that Spider-Verse for sure. I don't know what world he's in now, but I want to go see that movie still. I need to see it. But yeah, man, Justin Toff all the way. I don't think this one sniffs.
Hey, what up, Z?
The second round. Yo. What's up?
Z, the homie. Appreciate you coming in, my guy. You are just in time for the co-main event of the evening. We are going to be talking about Amanda Ribas coming in against Macy the Future Barber. I have thoughts on this one. I definitely have thoughts on this one. Do you want to go first on this one, Nano?
I'll before I guess you get your thought.
Oh. My bad. I muted you instead of me.
I was like, well, unless you want to take over, all good. I said, I'll throw my 2 cents in here. I'll let you, take it from there. But this is a fun one, man. I want to say, quick shout out to Team Alpha Male. We got our girl Macy Barber here, flying out of Sacramento. So always love seeing that. And hey, Macy Barber, aka the Future, has arrived. I don't want to give too much spoilers as to why I'm excited to say that. But 25 years young, 12-2 record, 4-fight win streak, coming off her last losses to the current champion and now #1 female fighter pound for pound, my girl Alexa Grasso, the Mexican champion si se puede. Let's go. We out here. So again, that age like fine wine. That aged better than George Clooney. That aged as well as it possibly could. Okay. Macy Barber, coming from the Dana White Contender Series, currently has the second most KOs in the women's flyweight division. The girl is a striker. She has some great submissions under her belt as well. Got to throw that out there. She has wins over Miranda Maverick, Jessica I, Andrea KGB Lee. Sorry, Olin. Close your ears on that one, brother. But very well-rounded, explosive fighter. She has that Stephen Wonder Boy karate-like stance from a southpaw. It's really fun to watch. Very explosive. I think she gives a lot of problems because she's going to kick you from places you don't know. She's going to come in. She's going to elbow you. She's going to punch you. She's got a really unique way to throw her combinations and string them together. I think that's one of her X factors. Although she's going to have a 2-inch height advantage, Amanda Ribas is actually going to have a 1-inch reach advantage. So that's going to be interesting how she's going to deal with that. And that brings us to our girl, Amanda Ribas. She's spunky. She's my girl. Felt like if I met her in person, I'd want to hug her, laugh with her, go, get a drink or have her teach me how to do her favorite, jujitsu technique or something, right? She's just seems like a fun time all around. Surprised to see that she's only 29 years young. I feel like she's been in the UFC forever. It's only been 4 years now, but she's been stacking up wins since she's been in. Wins over Mackenzie Dern. She has a win over Paige Only Van Zant. She's overall a very well-rounded fighter as well. Proven durability, very opportunistic. I say that in the sense that, she's a fighter that when someone makes a mistake, she'll quickly capitalize on that, regardless of where she is, regardless if she's even losing the fight. She's going to find that opportunity and capitalize on it. And I think that's her best path to victory is getting on the ground, mudding up the fight. But boy, if Macy can catch her slipping on the feet, hurt her early, chip her away at her feet, it's going to be a long night for Amanda. If Amanda can get it down, it's anyone's game. I'm leaning Macy Barber, though, because I just think the Future has arrived, and I've seen Amanda lose. But again, brother, what do you think? Morant over.
So this is possibly going to be one of those age-old times where Olin, aka MMAnomaly, bets with his heart instead of his logic. I'm a big fan of Amanda Ribas. I also, as talented as Macy Barber is, I think she writes checks with her mouth that her ass can't cash.
Oh, great reference, bro.
I truly do. I think she talks a very, very big game. Like after her first fight in the UFC, she was saying that she's going to be the youngest like UFC champ ever, even younger than John Jones was able to get it done. Like, I'm so sorry. I hate John Jones, but get the fuck out of here. It's not going to happen. I don't know that anybody will beat the record of John Jones becoming champ at the age he became champ. It's just like the brand that I'm creating is MMAnomaly. John Jones, as much as I despise him, is an MMAnomaly. Like, he's literally the definition of an MMAnomaly. Like, an anomaly is something different than the norm. He is that for MMA. He is so different from the norm. And like Z said here, Macy has a pena mouth. Not a potty mouth, a pena mouth. She really does.
Oh man, we got some good puns in here today, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, she does. Peniitis or something.
Bro, she was on the mic trying to talk shit about Pena. Trying to say that Pena is cringe. Like, go back and listen to your own interviews, Macy. Like, I love watching your fights, but even 50% of the time when she fights, she's punching at ghosts. Like, I think I deleted the montage or else I'd play it again. Because it was definitely a funny montage that I had made about Macy Barber Ghost Hunter. But I'll have to dig that up from the archives and play that at some point. That was a good one.
That is one of your better pieces of art, bro. I will admit that was a fantastic one. I forgot about that.
I had actually forgotten about it until now. I should have redone that one for tonight's episode.
Yeah, she has a way of, for whatever reason, for those that didn't get a chance to see that, doing this ridiculous shadow boxing and punching live in a fight when there's like, I mean, the fighter cannot be farther away. It's almost as if they're like just getting the freaking, I don't know, the rounds just starting and you see them coming out. It's like she's already coming out shadow boxing, doing the Jim Carrey, me, myself, and Irene shadow box. It's ridiculous. It's the funniest thing ever. Everyone go check it out.
It's fantastic. It is fantastic. Yeah. So definitely I will post that up for sure for you guys to see. I should post that on YouTube short.
Yeah.
So jumping into the actual fight here, again, Macy Barber, aside from the mouthpiece not being my favorite thing in the world, she is a really good fighter. She has, in her four most recent fights, wins over Miranda Maverick, Montana De La Rosa, Jessica Evil Eye, and as you said, Andrea KGB Lee. You hate to see it, but fantastic for her. Now, looking at Amanda Ribas, a lot less sexy last four fights, right? She's 2-2 in her last four. 2 wins over Virna Jandiroba and Vivian Arroyo. And then before that, it was Paige Van Zant. Obviously, she has a tendency for committing hate crimes against people with the letter Z in their name. Or sorry, the letter V in their name. And then the 2 losses came by way of Caitlin Chukagian, blonde fighter, who is basically, like, come on. She's the gatekeeper of all gatekeepers for that weight class. And then before that, she lost to Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez is a top 3 or top 5 caliber fighter at all times. The woman's an absolute beast. So losing to either of those 2 people is not really a knock in my humble opinion. Before I continue on this thought, let's see what Z's saying here. Macy may have a shorter reach, but do you guys think that the height makes up for her? Power fighters punching down can be effective. 100% agree with that. Power fighters punching down can definitely be effective. However, if you look at the way that Macy Barber fights, she kind of, who's a good fighter to compare her to? Like Frankie Edgar, how he fights hunched over, even though he's already short. She fights in a hunched over way. So she's going to take 2 to 3 inches off of her own height by the way that she stands. Amanda Ribas doesn't stand super upright either, but in my opinion, Amanda Ribas has crispier boxing. So the footwork is going to create problems for Macy Barber. I think that's going to end up being one of the big points of the fight, is going to be the footwork and the entries of Amanda Ribas. I think what we see in the first 3 minutes of the fight is really going to be telling for the rest of the other 12 minutes of it, right? Because if for those first 3 minutes we see Amanda Ribas getting in and out of the pocket, sliding in and out with like slick footwork, and Macy Barber not having an answer for it, it's going to be a really, really long fight and an even longer night for Macy Barber. And I hope she packed a lunch. However, if she does the age-old things that Team Alpha Male, aka Team Alpha, does these days, and has done for the last like 10, 15 years, and is able to negate that with a decent jab and the patented Alpha Male overhand. Well, it could be a very, very solid knockout and a really nice addition to the highlight reel for Macy Barber. Do I think that's going to end up happening? Probably not, because I got to be honest, just like Eric said in the chat, he said, is her boxing crispy like mine? And of course, he's referring to the VR boxing that he does all the time. I think it is.
The answer is not as crispy.
I think it's pretty close.
Ooh.
I think it's pretty damn close, Eric.
Oh, if it's close.
It's pretty close.
Oof.
We'll have to have...
Eric's crispy like bacon over there. You got to put them on game.
We're going to need Zuckerberg to really get us a person versus person version of the VR boxing. So
yes,
that way you and Amanda Hebus, we can set up that match and we'll live stream it on the channel.
Yes, please.
For the whole world to see Eric get embarrassed.
Spam the chat, like it, let us know if you agree.
So yeah, I think we're definitely divided on this one. I'll see you on Instagram Live or Instagram.
We got a couple. One of us are getting drunk. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or both of us, who knows?
Or both of us, yeah,
how it
we'll
works.
See. Maybe we'll go 50-50. That's usually how it works.
Yep.
Moving into the main event of the evening, we have Josh Emmett coming in against Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is someone I've been high on for a very long time. Even when he was going, I believe he went up in weight for that fight against Jai Herbert on the UFC London card a while back. And I mean, like, come on. I say a while back. That was only back in 2022. Jesus Christ. But before that, he beat Ryan Hall. After that, he beat Bryce Mitchell. 2 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys that he was not supposed to beat. And what did he do to those guys? Well, he knocked one of them out, which if you're going to beat a Jiu-Jitsu guy you're not supposed to beat, you probably want to, go for the knockout. But if you're talking about going against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy and you're the striker, the one thing that nobody has on their bingo card is you getting an arm triangle choke on them, which is what he did to Bryce Mitchell, and he made it look pretty damn easy. For that reason, as Randy Jackson says on American Idol, when it comes to Josh Emmett, it's a no from me, dog. I'm going with Ilia Topuria in this one. Z said, are we going with experience here? I'm not.
Afraid not.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Nope.
I can't do it. What are your thoughts here, Nano? Oh, Patty the Patty.
Ooh.
Someone's recalling the water bottle.
I don't know,
incident.
man. They do have a little beef, man. Ilia Topuria would smack him if he saw him. I'd smack that man. Ilia Topuria's dog, man. The Matador making his main event debut. It's a huge fight for him, and he couldn't be coming in with more momentum, more notoriety, more buzz around him, and frankly, more pressure. With more power comes more responsibility. We know this, man. But does he not just have the look? I mean, he's undefeated. He's working on his English. He's improving. Hoping to see him, get better all around. But I do think if he gets a dominant finish out here against Josh Emmett, if he could put him away, that'd be a huge statement for him. Be a huge splash in the division, and really establish himself as a part of that new cream of the crop, as one of the new stars here in the UFC. Always looking to pump those new stars, and I think he's one of them, man. He's damn good every time he steps in there. Impressive wins every time. I mean, 13 fights, 12 finishes. He's 26 years old. I think the guy's destined for some big things in the UFC, man. As long as he's willing to keep around, as long as he stays healthy, if he keeps putting on shows the way he's been, gosh, why not? How do you bet against the kid, right? He's going up against an opponent, a seasoned vet, like, the chat's mentioning, who's gone in there against the who's, right? He's beaten, this being Josh Emmett, he's beaten a Michael Johnson, a Shane Burgos, a Dan Ige, Calvin Kattar, right? 18-3. The dude's a savage. He's one of the top fighters at 145. No doubt about it. Also, quick shout out Team Alpha Male and those Sacramento boys out there. You're out of favor. Getting it done. Does he have what it takes? Can beat the younger, more explosive, talented, maybe better, well-rounded fighter? We shall see, right? I mean, the last time he had this opportunity, it was against a Yadir Rodriguez, and we all know how that played out. Yair's holding the belt. He's going to Unified against Alexander Volkanovski.
I've got to cut in for just a second here and say that was arguably the best version of Yair Rodriguez we've ever seen.
He was probably unbeatable that night. I don't think anybody could have gotten in there and beat him. I mean, the man was, untouchable. Maybe that was part of it. Maybe Josh Emmett, maybe something to that, just, didn't show up. I know those things happen. It's more do or die in the UFC. It's not like having a bad game in MLB or NFL or basketball even. I mean, this is once or twice a year. So, hey, it wasn't there that night. We got to tip the hat. But hey, I mean, it doesn't mean I'm going to be more confident in our boy Josh Emmett. Though he can put people away, though he is a savvy, seasoned vet. Man, everything Ilia Topuria does when he is in there, I think Josh might be stronger, but the Bull, he's named that for a reason. I think he has all the chops, man. I think he finds a way to put him out of there sooner than later, to be honest. They start swinging. They start getting after it. I mean, Topuria stays measured. I think he could clip him, hurt him, TKO him, or, maybe he's a little bit more measured. Maybe he gets him up against the fence. Or vice versa. Maybe Josh tries to get him up against the fence, try to muscle him up. But Ilia has a lot of ways to win this fight, no matter where it goes. I think he gets it done. And that's the thing. There's not a lot of names left for Ilia, right? If he beats Josh, he takes that 5 spot. People already have dance partners. Who is next for him? I mean, Max, I think, supposed to be fighting Korean Zombie. Is that queued up yet? Is that set in stone?
It's pretty much set in stone, the Zombie versus Max fight.
So that's not going to work.
He just posted an interesting one here. He said, El Matador wins. Should he skip Allen and go for Max, or should he take his time for that number 1 contender spot?
Yeah.
Honestly, and thanks for joining the chat, Z. Really, really great questions, brother.
Heck yeah.
I mean, it's
all
tough.
timing, right? I mean, when is the fight going to be, right? I mean,
I think he shouldn't skip Allen. I think Allen has put in his work, and I think, honestly, that would be a really fun fight where the fans are going to definitely win. And I don't know how that fight would play out. Arnold Allen versus the Matador himself, Ilia Topuria. I mean,
well, I'll tell you what. I mean, Yair and Volk, they are fighting in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
So if I'm Ilia,
International Fight Week headliner.
And to be honest, if I'm Ilia, and I mean, if he does it in dominant fashion, if he can put him away like Yair just did. I mean, if you're Dana, how much more of a case do you need? Hey, everyone else in the top 5 is pretty much tied up, I believe. We can double check, besides maybe Allen. But Allen is coming off a loss. So do you really grant that to be the number 1 contender fight coming off a loss? I don't think so. I think the timing of it all.
I'll tell you what I do. If I'm El Matador, I call for the title shot. I go and I win the belt. And then instead of calling out the
Volk?
No, against Yair. Yair's going to beat Volk. It's my dark horse pick for 2 weeks from now.
Ooh, we're gonna have some good episodes. Tune in.
It's gonna be a heated one on that one.
Let's go.
I'm gonna do a full breakdown for sure. That being said, even though that might be a batshit crazy take, let's say Yair does win, and then Ilia Topuria fights Yair. That's a fun fight. That's a winnable fight for Ilia. If I'm Ilia and the dankest timeline plays out for me, and that happens, I'm not calling out a top 5 fighter. I'm calling out Paddy Pimblett after I get the belt.
That's the money fight, huh? Ooh, even if Paddy doesn't fight anyone,
I'm calling him out at a stadium in the UK.
Oof. So you're hoping Paddy gets at least 1 tune-up fight then, right? Let him get 1 tune-up. Okay. Yeah. Then that works.
Because you got to think, like, even if, like, let's say Yair goes out there and it's, let's say for whatever reason, it's somehow one-way traffic, he's still going to take some damage. So he's going to have, let's say, at the very least, 2 months layoff. And then he gets back into training. He's not fighting for another 5-6 months. The earliest these guys fight is December. Paddy will have a fight by then.
Yeah. Yeah. If it gets announced, it's because he's going straight into camp, or it was already announced, or he's already known about it. And it's,
absolutely
just fits the puzzle pieces together. Is he coming off an injury, Paddy? Is that why he's been kind of out for a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, he's coming off of a little bit of an injury. And I mean, you hate to see it, but
it is what it is, man. Hey, opportunity, presents itself, and I'll tell you what, man. This Ilia kid, he's got all of it riding this Saturday. His future, I mean, a potential title contention. I mean, a real path. I mean, it is there for the taking. And the kid, when he comes out there, he shows out. He puts on a fun. It's must-see TV. You know, it truly is.
And I think that you can say the same thing for Ilya and Patty. Like both of them, when they come out there and they're on, it's hard to not watch or not watch.
That fight would be huge. That fight would be huge. Maybe you make that regardless. Maybe you say, okay, hey, winner gets a title. I mean, you can sell that. You can sell Patty Ilya for a title contender, knowing Patty probably ain't gonna win. But hey,
you don't want none of that English jitsu, Drew said. And then let's see what Z said here. Off the topic a bit. Let's say Zombie surprises us with a finish on Max.
Oh, jeez. I mean, when's the last time Max ever been finished? I mean, my goodness.
Oh man, yeah, no. I mean, I don't know that Max has been finished. I know he's never been tough.
Yeah, even just to beat him would be impressive as all hell.
Let's say Zombie does find the cheat code because Max has never been dropped. What if he standing guillotines him or flying triangles him? You don't have to drop him to do that. You just jump at him like a goddamn spider monkey. So,
crazy things have happened. I mean, I guess we can, walk.
If that happens, he gets the loser of Saturday's fight.
Yeah.
Zombie. If Zombie comes out there and beats Max, I think he gets a Josh Emmett or an Ilya Taporia.
I mean, the smart thing to do, if you're his PR team, you're telling him, hey, go call for a title shot, but you're not going to get it. But
you're not going to get it.
But that's what you do, I guess.
Unless Yair Rodriguez, if Yair Rodriguez dude.
Because then if Yair wins
he just unlocks
or loses,
stuff, dude.
Talk to me.
If Yair wins and Zombie wins, Zombie beat Yair Rodriguez for 25 minutes or 24 minutes and 50 seconds up until this shit. Bro.
What was that? Are you going to beat me? Never mind. Thought wrong. Say to my face.
Dude, if he wouldn't have if he would have ignored Yair Rodriguez doing the whole hey, kept punching him in the face, it would have been a totally different timeline in MMA.
That was prime Korean Zombie. Not that he's a little far off of that now, probably on the back nine, but yeah, hey man, Korean Zombie is a legend. What the fuck
he was doing? He said exactly why I asked.
I love it. I mean, he's an Hall of Famer. His legacy is written in stone. It's the same with Max.
Volk is going to show the world he beat Islam. No fluke, just a masterclass. How? How's he going to do that against a striker that's not Dagestani? He lost to Islam, bro.
I mean, maybe you just think Volk just, we talked about footwork, right?
Why he beat Islam. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's, Volk uses his footwork. Maybe Yair doesn't showcase the same way he did that Saturday against Josh Emmett, right? Maybe we see a different version of him. But, hey, man, Teddy Atlas said you get 20% better when you get the belt. I think it's at least 10% when it's even an interim belt, regardless. I think Yair, man, he's going to come ready to play. So I'm excited to dive more into that at another time for sure.
At another time?
But, man, Max versus Korean Zombie, that's a fun one. That's huge. That's, I think, either title contender or number one contender conversation for him. Same with Max. Why not? Put him right back in there. I mean, let's see it. I mean, that's who Max is. He can fight for a title at any time. I'd be happy with it.
100%. I don't think anybody would complain if Max fights for a title. That being said, we're going to break off into a couple of little solo chat segments so that way we can talk you through our bets for the week. I'm going to go ahead and let Nano jump us off here. So we'll go ahead and jump right into that. And then after that, before we wrap up, we'll probably talk about one little random semi-MMA related topic before we call it a night for sure.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Jive Live Turkey Hour. We got some bets ahead of us. I'm excited to chat with y'all about it. You might notice here I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I don't know if turkeys hatch eggs exactly, so I'm not a Jive Turkey right now. I might be a Jive Chicken on this one. Little Jive Chicken over here, putting all my eggs in this one chicken basket. for this dual parlay, dropping 2 unis for 7.7. Lucky number 7, baby. Taking us to heaven, taking us to the top. We got 2 picks here, and look no further than the co-main event and the main event of the evening. Very excited. Actually, just noticed that now both of them are at 215, 145. So tune in early, ladies and gentlemen. I digress. Hey, these chickens are going to hatch into some beautiful, beautiful hens. Some roosters roosting on my farm. We got an under to start us off here with Josh Emmett versus Ilia Topuria. Let's be honest, this fight's not going to sniff a finish. I do think Ilia's going to get it done within 2 rounds, probably within the first round, if I'm being honest. It's going to be a short main event, y'all. So I took the under. I'm chasing the upset. So we're going with that, minus 220. I'm really liking it. Next up here, last but certainly not least, we got our girl Macy Barber getting it done. Money line. The future has arrived. I'm honestly surprised that she is plus odds here. That means Vegas and maybe the rest of the world thinks Amanda Ribas is going to get it done. That is fair. I love Amanda. She is a beast. But Macy Barber, man, hey, I don't know the expression you said earlier, Olin, but I'm not even going to say it again because I'm not going to let you put that evil on me, okay? Macy Barber is going to get it done. She's talked the talk. She's going to walk the walk. She wants Alexa Grasso. She wants that grudge match, and I think she has a path to get it done. She's going to find a way to chop at the legs. She's going to find a way to hurt. She's going to elbow. She's going to cut up Amanda Ribas. I think she's going to find a way to get it done by decision here. It's going to be a fun fight, back and forth. Oh, man. Well, you know what? Her booty's going to cash this one, okay? Macy Barber, get it done, baby. Bring us home. Bring us home these unis. Keep the streak going. Let's get it. Olin, excited to see your picks, brother. What do we got?
What's up, guys? Here I am. I'm back. I'm back in your lives, live on your screens, ready to tell you all about who I'm picking and why I'm picking them. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. I am not like Nano. I am not putting all my eggs into one basket or one parlay, so to speak. I'm throwing you these units all around, guys. And let me tell you what, we got no time. Okay. So for the first one, we got a little 4-pick here, a little 4-picker. We got, I call it the no time parlay. We got under 1.5 rounds for Trevor Peek versus Jose Mariscal. Why? Because I don't know who's going to win that fight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fight fans of all ages, but I can tell you it's going to finish pretty damn quickly. Both men have very high finish ability, very high finish rates, and very quick finish rates. For that reason, I think either side's able to get it done within the first 7.5 minutes. That's why it's on the parlay to kick us off. After that, we've got under 1.5 rounds for Cody Brundage versus Cedric Dumas. We've already talked about SD Dumas. We've already told you that he's a finisher. On the other side of him, we got Cody Brundage, who's a little bit of a risk taker himself. He's ready to finish the fight. And SD Dumas, I mean, if there's one thing I've learned about him already, it's the fact that if this man cannot finish you, he is going to go out on his shield, or on his sword for that matter. I don't see this fight going the distance, and I definitely don't see it going to the second round. Going on ahead, we have under 2.5 rounds for Josh Emmett versus Ilia Topuria. Why? We've already went over this, ladies and gentlemen. We've already talked about it. We already know how this fight plays out. It plays out with a finish, okay? Josh Emmett is going to go out there slanging and banging like a shrunken down version of Marvin Vittoria, all the way from Mount Doom, from Mordor. He's bringing all of the orc forces with him. And he's either going to knock this young man out very quickly, or he's probably going to get knocked out in the second round, or maybe even submitted, because as we know, as we've learned very quickly about Ilia Topuria, the Matador himself, El Matador can get it done anywhere the fight goes. And I damn sure think he can get it done in under 2.5 rounds. Moving into the last pick that I threw on here. It's not the last fight of the night, but it's the last pick I lined up. We got Austin Lane versus Justin Badman Tafa. Again, someone's going down. I think it's going to be Lane, but it felt safer to just put the under 1.5 on there at minus 205. So that is a little plus 459 4-pick parlay action. Moving into the next one, we got a little plus 315, another 4-picker for you. We got Tatsuro Taira. If you were here for the beginning of the podcast episode here, you know that I am very high on this young man. And that's enough. That's all we need to say. He's going to get it done. He's going to end up going out there. He's going to get a pretty darn impressive finish, I think. And I think he's going to show us exactly why he's a staple for the future. Brendan All In Allen. You can say that again because I'm all in on Brendan Allen. We got the money line on this young man, just like Tatsuro Taira. I think he gets it done against Bruno Silva. Is it the easiest pick of the day? No, but it's also not the hardest one, folks. I think he gets it done. Moving into this next one, we got Ilya Taporia. Again, it's a name that you keep seeing. My goodness, I just think the guy gets it done. And then after that, he's going to call for a title shot, sail off into the sunset after beating Paddy the Batty Pimblett at a stadium in the UK. But not before we take this parlay all the way home. You know, I had to do it again. You know, the parlay pick so nice, we had to double down and do it twice. Under 1.5, Austin Lane versus Justin Taffa. If there's ever been a lock, I think it's that one. Usually we say flyweight unders and heavyweight overs, but damn it, we're changing the game this week. We're going heavyweight unders. Let's go. That's why I'm on it. I'm super stoked for it, and I personally think that this is going to be the time, guys. This is going to be the time where I end up getting it done. I'm going to knock Emiliano off that fucking high horse, off his pedestal. The guy's been doing too damn well. I'm not mad at it, you know. I'll be the first to tell you when I suck, it happens. What can I do? What can I do? That's been the situation these last couple times, but I digress. We keep going. We keep growing. And when we win money, we start glowing. So we're just going to keep the ball rolling and move into that super secret mystery topic that is not really a secret at all. Mark Zuckerberg versus the man, the myth, the legend, Elon the Tusk Musk.
Dun, dun, dun. Refereed by our one and only Lex Luthor, or whoever, or no, is that Kingpin? Maybe that's Kingpin.
It's Dana White, bro.
That's Dana for sure. Oh man, this is a fun one, right? I don't know if y'all are on the Twittergram or if y'all are on social media as much as us, but apparently Elon Musk made a remark. He made a tweet as he normally does, saying, "Hey, if he wants to smoke, he can come and get it." And Mark Zuckerberg responded on Instagram on his company and said, well, send location, which is probably the scariest thing you can tell anybody, especially if you are noted to have had a background in any sort of mixed martial arts, mostly being jiu-jitsu and other striking and Oculus boxing. I mean, the man is very well-rounded. If he tells me to send location, I'm not going to send him jack shit. And pardon my French. So this is a great fight. This is probably the biggest fight ever. Maybe you have Donald Trump as a guest judge somehow, just to really stir up the pot. And I think that this is must-see TV. Sign me up. Maybe they do it on the moon. What do you think?
Maybe they do it on the moon, he says. My God, maybe they do it on the moon. Honestly, what do I think? I think this is a great fight. I think there's a ton of opportunity to monetize here and make a lot of money. But I'm going to take what you said. I'm going to take it one step further. You said Donald Trump as a guest referee. I think that's amateur hour shit. That's easy. That's easy. Okay, I think what we need to happen here is for, while the fight's going on, Jeff Bezos is in the back with a plain black t-shirt and a can of white spray paint. Spray paint NWO across the t-shirt.
Oh.
And then jumping into the octagon. We have a triple threat match. Cage match, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that'd be sick. Bring back the cage match. That'd be baller.
Trump on color commentary, Eric said. Look, I do believe, this fight's going to be huge. Huge.
And I want it on the moon just so USADA doesn't have to sanction it, and they can take all the special sauce they want going into this one, because Elon Musk is gonna need it. But hey, why not, man? These guys need it. Let's be honest.
I had with Mary. So the conversation I had with Mary is this: one guy actually trains and actually knows some degree of martial arts. The other guy is in the process of inventing a chip that you implant into your brain that can teach you anything. So I feel like Musk is going to show up to the fight and be like, so I installed the Neuralink 3.0 last week. and now I know karate, and I am a third-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
He's like, it's the first version of it, but I think I'll know. And he's gonna start blocking everything with one arm. Like, I think, yeah, there might be some bugs I can work out, but I'll be fine. Yep, here we go. Yep, no, it's effective.
Drew in the chat. Jim Ross comes over the mic. Oh my God, it's Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos with the chair. This is absolute madness.
Oh man, yeah. You know, I mean, that's the only it's only likely thing to happen. That's the only thing we want to see. I mean, I wonder, and I mean, even just responding, I guess if you're Mark, if you're just thinking, honestly, he might be feeling like a big dog right now. Like, you know what? Actually, yes, let's go. I'll beat your butt. I'll tussle with you a little bit. Oh man, I love it.
I just love the Mark Zuckerberg Khabib quote response. The send location.
Oh, dude, that's the scariest thing you can say to anybody. I mean, my goodness, especially knowing this guy has a background. Oh, shit, I'm out of here. That's a no for me, dog.
Like he just recently took first place in a jiu-jitsu tournament. It was like an amateur level tournament, but still, like.
I mean, dude, he knows a thing or two. He would beat up the average person, and probably most guys in a gym. Not every guy, but most guys in a gym. He walks in, he's beating you up, like, or in a dojo, like in a class, in a Gracie gym, anything, you name it. Like he looks good. I mean, he's trained with Volk. He's trained with some guys, man.
I was gonna say, like, his form, like, and you know me, I'll critique everybody and anybody, like even professional.
Everyone could get it.
Like, oh, he drops his elbow when he throws hooks, etc. But like, does he make some mistakes in the like clips that we see? Absolutely, but who doesn't? Professionals make mistakes, but overall, like, Zuck's form is really good. Like, especially like, if you take into account that he's not a martial artist, he's a billionaire. He's not even just a rich guy. He's a billionaire.
He's not an athlete by any means. I mean, he's never been known to have been a athletic endeavor guy. You know,
maybe like 5 years ago.
He wasn't on the rowing team. Like we watched
maybe
Social
like 5
Network.
years ago, you wouldn't have to worry about anything. But nowadays, I feel like he's the unsuspecting guy at the bar that could definitely choke you out.
Yeah. Honestly, he doesn't have always
miss like collar choke.
Always missing his cauliflower ear, but yeah, that dude would. He's the guy that beats you up at a work event or some tech party or.
Well, see, the cauliflower ear he's not getting because he's not doing a bunch of wrestling. He's just doing striking and jiu-jitsu.
That's all he's like, I know. He has everything else though. Hey, yeah, he's like, I'll still piece you up all roundhouse, kick you in the face.
That's why I was saying, like, he's the guy in the bar that literally he'll do a collar choke because like he does a bunch of gi stuff. And like I'll be the first to tell you that like I prefer training no gi just because like if you're gonna train no gi because people don't wear gis in the real world. But there's a lot of that shit that you can do with a gi on that works absolutely just as well if someone's not wearing a gi, like a collar choke, which is the one that I keep like going to here. Like you get your hands lined up inside someone's t-shirt and you pull, as long as their shirt doesn't rip and you like. You're either going to rip their shirt around the back of their neck or you're going to cut off blood circulation and put them to sleep on top of you or underneath you.
And most people are in a blazer in any metropolitan area, which I'm sure that's where
God forbid
Zuckerberg
someone's wearing
would be.
Leather or jean or something that's not going to break.
For real. Then it's over. Head pops off. No. Yeah, I mean, anywhere he's going, it's going to be metropolitan area. You know, everyone's got a blazer, a jacket of some sort, or a cross bag or something. They can get this work. Yeah, it don't matter. Anything can get it. That's a fun one, man. You know, another one that's good that I saw this week that I wanted to ask you about was the Ngannou John Jones exchange. What your thoughts were on that overall? If you thought there was a winner or not, or if you even pay any never mind to it.
This is like one of those conversations where like, have you ever had like a really cool dream where like you were a superhero or like you were like the president of the United States, right? Like, and then you tell somebody that story, you're like, dude, you're not going to believe. So like last night I had a dream that I was a superhero. You shouldn't even start those conversations like that. You should start those conversations like, hey, let me tell you what never happened last night and is never going to happen in real life.
Yeah,
that's the same way we should start any conversation.
This, but I want you to hear it. Like, yeah, just
like that's the way I feel like we should almost start every conversation regarding John Jones and Francis Ngannou. Like, hey, dude, let me tell you about this fucking fight that I'd love to see happen. That's probably never gonna happen.
Yeah.
So like, I don't care who won the talking to each other in a crowd. I want to see who would win a fight. And because John Jones took 3+ years to come up to heavyweight, we're likely never going to see that. He genuinely waited for Francis to leave and then came up to heavyweight. It's almost like too little too late for me because both guys have sailed past that ship. John Jones has already said he's going to have like one more UFC fight or maybe two, and then he's selling off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Ngannou is going to have probably like a season at PFL and then just go on to manage their African wing.
Yeah. And now's the
Ngannou's a fraud.
Well, now's the time to do it, or within the last 3 years up until now, maybe in the next 2 years is the window, and that's it. That's pushing it, right? And we may not get it in that time frame. It might end up one of those Mayweather Pacquiao situations of just, hey, we're all glad we got it, but yeah, maybe it's not in the UFC. Maybe, well, John just signed like
and it was also too late. Like Pacquiao,
that's what I'm saying.
I still feel like they met too late in Pacquiao's career.
Yeah, too late in Pacquiao's career. Mayweather was still kind of in his prime, but just too dominant at that stage to really entertain a later stage Pacquiao.
5-6 years prior, I think Pacquiao beats him.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that if you make the Francis Ngannou versus John Jones fight 2 years ago, Francis probably beats him.
Yeah.
But we will never know. Maybe Jones goes out there and wrestlefucks him, but we'll never know because Jones didn't make it happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Jones did sign the long deal. I thought it was 8 fights or something like that. Maybe if he doesn't entertain, maybe he does only do a couple, and then maybe he does just wait, I guess, right? I guess that is still a scenario. But man, Ngannou, man, it was fun to see. I think they both held their own. John Jones was sizing him up. It was interesting that you can hear every word that they were saying. I feel like that was a little different. John Jones has his coaching gloves on, everything about it's like interesting to see.
It was in the Philippines, Eric. Sorry, Eric was asking where the Thrilla in Manila was. It was in the Philippines.
Oh, was it? Oh, I guess. Oh, okay, nice.
I believe so. Let me look it up. Now you have me fucking second guessing myself.
Trying to remember.
It was at the Araneta Coliseum, I think. Yeah, in Quezon City, Philippines.
Nice.
Had me fucking second guessing myself. I was like, hold on. Was it in Africa?
Just stirring up the pot over here. No. Yeah, man, I agree with you though. I mean, it's a fun hypothetical. I mean, it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda for sure. Maybe we'll still get it. I don't know. I'm almost more curious to see Ngannou do more boxing or just, do his own thing, tread his own path. But it is what it is, huh?
So Eric said, my bad. That was a joke. Mike Perry asked it on Rogan and Rogan said yes. So, I mean, that's okay. I learned 2 things from that.
Fun podcast.
1, I can't read a joke very well. And 2, apparently I am more factually accurate than Joe Rogan. I'll take it.
There we go. Win-win. Come on.
Joe Rogan really thought Thrilla in Manila was in Africa?
Oh, jeez. What a guy.
Funny, actually.
I got to rewatch that Perry one. I saw a little bit of it. It's pretty funny. What a good guy.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out. I haven't watched that one myself, but definitely need to check that one out. Yeah, man. I feel like there's a lot they can do with the celebrity boxing stuff or celebrity fighting stuff for that matter.
Logan Paul's been training. I mean, hey, get him in the octagon. Let's see it.
I mean, that'd be fun. I'd like to see Logan Paul against somebody like Darren Till that's like kind of on their way out. I mean, he's already out at this point. But.
Dude, honestly, if Logan keeps it up, I mean, I saw Dylan Dennis training again with Connor. I don't know if that's old or not.
No, that was literally this week. Dylan looks like trash.
I mean, dude, I was gonna say, looks like good enough to actually be fighting. Like, that's perfect. Go fight Logan for some money.
I think Logan would genuinely kill him.
I'd pay to see it.
Yeah.
That'd be a pay-per-view event powered by Prime in the Apex.
Powered by Prime in the Apex. This fight brought to you by Prime. This replay brought to you by Prime.
Dude, that'd be fun. I would pay to see that. Dylan, I mean, he looked very much. He was like he was moving again. That was my impression.
Bro, it was like a 30-second clip. I watched him miss with like 15 shots and eat like 10.
Connor just boop, 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 boop. And Connor's sitting there thinking, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. It's like, dude, that's nothing.
If you're training to beat up like an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, then you're probably training with a pretty solid guy.
Yeah, like sure. Yeah, that's perfect. Great looks.
If you're trying to be the king of the UFC and you're trying to fight people like Dustin Poirier, you might want to get a different sparring partner.
Back to the drawing board, Bubba. Looks. Yeah, back to the drawing board on that one, Bubba.
Maybe not the best. All right, guys. Well, I don't want to keep you up all night. We do have work tomorrow, so we were going to go ahead and call it. We appreciate you all joining us tonight in the chat. As always, it is a blast having you guys here. Definitely makes it a lot more fun when you guys are tuning in and chiming in the chat. Drew, Blackato, Z, Shan, every single one of you guys in the chat. Honestly, Eric.
Thank you.
Half the people I just named, I can't wait to see in Vegas in 2 weeks for International Fight Week. Let's go, boys. We'll have to figure out how the hell we're going to do a little live Thursday episode at some point, or maybe do a quick recording for us to upload later in the week. But again, I digress. We're going to go ahead and roll these post credits, and we will see you on Tuesday after another beautiful episode of The Ultimate Fighter. And I believe it'll be a special 4th of July episode. Hopefully there's a new episode of The Ultimate Fighter. If there's not, we might move the time up to like 7 p.m. or something like that and go live a little bit earlier. But either way, bank on seeing us on Tuesday to recap at the very least the fights that we just talked about preemptively that are going to happen on Saturday. Nano, anything for the people?
Thank you all. Tune in early. The fights are going to be earlier. It looks like the main card's starting around noonish. So get those early chores in. Make sure you're in front of a TV. Get the laundry and anything that's doable there. And Olin, great chatting with you as always. Looking forward to another great week. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. You guys have a great night and keep the passion for mixed martial arts alive, baby. Let's go.